well. This team is responding to I think a top 6 that everybody is happy about, and a top 4 defensive pairings that they're happy about. And, of course, the goalie is amazing. So with that, he decided to add grit, and he decided to add guys that are all college, by the way, players, 2 University of Michigan players and 2 University of Massachusetts players that are now added to the lineup to add flexibility for Gerard Gallant. Jesus, man, I'm telling you, it's going to be a hell of a day. But anyway, I will say I was happy. They didn't land a big fish like Raquel from Anaheim. But at the end of the day, this is all about substance anyway. You got a goalie. You got to play defense in front of them. This is kind of what Tampa has done over the past few years. They always add at the bottom 6 of their lineup. They try to make themselves tougher. They try to make themselves more flexible. And I would like to think that's what the Rangers did here. The problem with the Rangers is that they don't score a lot of goals 5-on-5. And, in the playoffs, they don't call nearly as many penalties. The power play isn't nearly as impactful. But I can just tell you that they believe in the top 6, and that's what they're basically saying to their team. So good for them and good for us, and hopefully they're going to make a deep run.
Did you call Frank, or did Frank run Matt Ryan past you? Because I know last year he ran Carson Wentz past you, and you're like, hey, man, listen, he had the most success in his career with you.
Yes.
It makes a ton of sense. It didn't work out completely. He had some good moments, but obviously more bad moments, and that's why he was gone, and the owner had it with Carson Wentz. Did you and Frank Reich talk about Matt Ryan before the Colts trade was made? I need to know if this conversation happened. That's a yes. That is a yes. And Boomer answered yes without answering yes.
I mean, no, the thing is that we did speak.
Yeah.
We mentioned a number of names.
Okay.
Matt Ryan's name, of course, was one of those names.
Mm-hmm.
I personally think it's a great fit for Frank because Matt is a great teammate. Matt is really bright. And Matt, over the last 5 years, has been one of the most accomplished quarterbacks when it comes to statistics of any other quarterback in the league. So I would say this is, you got to do what you got to do. And he's got a guy that he can trust. The problem is that you're in the AFC.
Yeah.
And the AFC is absolutely loaded. Now, the one thing I will say, and I think I said this yesterday to you, is that, the AFC West is loaded. And those teams are going to be playing each other. So you got to be thinking they're going to be wiping each other out a little bit.
Of course.
So can you get to the playoffs at 9-8, 10-7, 11-6? Obviously you can. He's got to win his division. I think they're the best team in that division. I really do. Right now, speaking today, I do believe the Colts are the best team in that division with the addition of Matt Ryan.
Wow, not the Tennessee Titans
I don't believe so.
Who got the 1 seed last year.
And plus they got Robert Woods.
Yeah.
And again, I think Ryan Tannehill is a good player. I don't think he's a great player, and I think we saw that in the playoffs again this year.
Okay.
But then again, that's a problem for everybody in the AFC. Everybody in the AFC has got to go through Patrick Mahomes, Justin Herbert, Deshaun Watson, Joe Burrow. I mean, you name it, Lamar Jackson. I mean, there's just so many great players in the AFC that they had to do something in Indianapolis, of course. So really what it came down to, Mariota, Ryan, Mayfield, trade for Garoppolo. Those are basically the 4 avenues they could have gone, or they could actually draft a kid, but they don't have a first-round draft choice.
Yeah, I would probably have done the same thing and went and got Matt Ryan because, what was it, a 3rd-round pick?
Yeah, it was nothing, but they had to assume his contract. It's a big contract, but they have more than enough room to do that. That's one of the reasons why they were one of the teams that that would fit Matt. And Matt also knows that this is a good team that he's coming to. But again, the reality is that the AFC, is loaded. There's going to be 3 teams, most likely 3 teams out of that AFC West that make the playoffs.
Yeah, maybe. I mean, who the hell knows? I mean, we look at it on paper now and we say that team is, or that division is loaded with 4 teams that could very easily win the division. I mean, I'm down on the Broncos, and I don't know about the Raiders. I have no idea. I mean, the last time Josh McDaniels was a head coach, he was a total disaster. Let's not forget that.
I know that every team has a number 1 wide receiver, 2 pass rushers, a Pro Bowl quarterback, offensive linemen, and running backs.
To me, it's
every
more,
single team out there is basically loaded and balanced.
I'll tell you right now, though, I'd rather be the Colts, the Browns, the Ravens than
the Bengals.
No, the Bengals, yes, I throw them in there, of course.
I mean, the Colts better in their division
than the
AFC South.
Than the Broncos or the Raiders.
Yeah, I mean, the AFC South is I would like to think that Frank. I can tell you this statistically, every player that Frank has inherited has inherited as a quarterback for the Colts has had a better year under Frank than he had the previous year, wherever he came from.
That's why Baker Mayfield was dying to get there as a ready-made team, and Frank Reich is there, and he's thinking he's going to improve in his career heading into a contract season, and he's probably thinking to himself, rats, what am I going to do now? Where's my landing spot? Is it the Seattle Seahawks? I mean, really, is it the Carolina Panthers? I know Matt Rule was the only head coach outside of Mike Tomlin who all he had to do was walk 10 steps to go to Kenny Pickett's pro day. Yesterday, Matt Rule was the only NFL head coach there, so maybe he's looking into drafting a guy. But, I mean, Baker Mayfield's options are dwindling.
They are.
So I don't know where he's going to end up, and I don't know if anybody really – I mean, if the fact that Frank Reich and the Indianapolis Colts said, man, we have Baker Mayfield with a chip on his shoulder who is, 10 years younger at the very least?
Yes. And cheaper. And we could go for him or we could go for Matt Ryan and decide to go for Matt Ryan. Tells you the value out there of what teams think of Baker Mayfield. You know, the amazing thing to me is that Baker Mayfield was hurt pretty much three-quarters season with a bad shoulder and played.
Yeah.
And you could see, if you go back and watch some of their games, the ball's flying on him. The ball's flying on him because his left shoulder's killing him.
Yeah.
And he's out there playing. I guess nobody wants to give him any credit for being out there playing hurt and trying to lead his team.
Man.
I know how it is. I understand that.
It's a brutal business, and it was just as we talked about with Daniel Jones, a make-or-break year for Baker Mayfield, and then you get to a point where people don't want to hear the excuses. And it's not fair to everybody, but it's also not a fair league. It's not a fair business. It's not a fair anything.
Ask Les Snead about that.
Yeah, seriously.
I mean, Les Snead will wheel and deal, trade,
cutthroat,
and guys.
Doesn't matter.
Doesn't matter.
As long as he can sit there and drink at a parade, that's all he cares about.
That's exactly right. Screw those draft picks.
Yeah, F them picks, as he said. Yeah, so, I mean, I don't know where he's going to go. I would love to be able to say that one of the local teams would go out there and bring in Baker Mayfield, but they're not.
Because it looks like the Saints are going back to Jameis Winston.
Yeah, is he going to be healthy in time for week 1, though?
Yeah, I don't know. I'm assuming he will be.
Yeah.
If not, then it's going to be Taysom Hill.
God, I can't watch any more Taysom Hill play quarterback. It is brutal.
I mean, would you rather have Taysom Hill or Baker Mayfield?
Baker Mayfield.
Yeah, of course you would.
I'd rather have Baker Mayfield than Jameis Winston, too.
Yeah, I don't know. What
I'd
about
rather have
Houston?
Baker Mayfield than Marcus Mariota.
What about Houston? I guess they didn't want Baker Mayfield in the trade with Deshaun Watson.
I guess not. I don't know why.
They're going with Davis Mills, it looks like right now.
Oh, why?
Hey, look, dude, I'm not in the building. So there were moments where Davis Mills actually looked like he knew what he was doing.
I'm going to give you a couple of quarterbacks. You tell me if you'd rather have Baker Mayfield or that guy.
Okay.
All right?
Yes.
Baker Mayfield, Marcus Mariota.
I'd rather have Baker than Marcus.
Okay. Would you rather have Baker Mayfield or Mitch Trubisky?
I mean, I'd rather have Baker because I know what Mitch is. I'm just not really sure. Baker had 3 different coaches, 3 different systems. It was a cluster F. You know what, out there in Cleveland, it always is. That ownership sucks out there.
Yeah.
I think I'd rather have Baker just to see because I got to see the upside of Baker. I think I've seen a little bit of it.
Yeah.
But I also know a chip on his shoulder. Maybe he'll grow up a little bit. I'd rather take a flyer on him. So go ahead.
Baker Mayfield, Daniel Jones.
Daniel Jones, just simply because, and Daniel's hurt, Baker's hurt, but I just think Daniel's an easier guy to coach, an easier guy to deal with, and certainly somebody who all of his teammates respect. That's the one thing I can't take away from Daniel Jones. Every single one of his teammates that talks about Daniel Jones talks about him glowingly.
Now, let's just put it this way instead. I'll frame it in a different way because I know that you feel for Daniel Jones and he's been here and you feel like the Giants have screwed him up and he deserves another shot and all that stuff. Now, let's just say that someone tasked you with saying you have to win 7 games next year if you're the Giants. And I'm giving you a choice to go to work with either Baker Mayfield or Daniel Jones. And who are you taking out of those 2 guys?
That's a good question.
I'm taking Baker Mayfield 10 times out of 10.
But the problem is the Giants signed Tyrod Taylor. So
no, I know it's
that
not.
Ship has sailed.
I'm just making a case for Baker Mayfield to go somewhere. I mean, for crying out loud,
Baker Mayfield or Sam Darnold, Baker Mayfield. But the problem is that the Carolina Panthers, guaranteed Sam Darnold's contract this year.
Brutal.
$18 million.
Yeah, that is rough. What about Baker Mayfield or Carson Wentz?
Carson Wentz.
Really?
Yeah.
See, not me. I'm taking Baker over Carson Wentz.
I mean, you can't take the games out of play because he played in the games. But man, if they didn't have those last two horrific games in Indianapolis, he'd still be their quarterback.
Yeah. What about, imagine if the Jets brought in Baker Mayfield and had him sit behind Zach Wilson?
No,
pressure
that's
a
not
bit.
happening.
I know it's not. Flacco and Mike White are coming
back. But I just think back, I think about the Jets and where they are in their rebuild right now, and I just think about what's going on in the AFC. I would say that I feel like the AFC East and the AFC South are two divisions that can be won.
Sure.
There's no question about that.
The Bills
are going to be a pain in the ass.
Yeah.
And Josh Allen's an amazing football player. He's a top 5 quarterback in the league. But there's a chance, you could actually win 9 games in this division, I think.
Yeah. I mean, outside of the Bills.
Outside of the Bills,
the rest of the teams in that division are either rebuilding or not that scary.
Yeah, they're not. They're certainly not the Chargers. Who, I mean, the Chargers are loaded, man. They are loaded.
Yeah, I mean, that team to me is the one. I don't ever want to disrespect the Chiefs with what they have done, but I mean, this offseason and seeing how close they were last year, to me, that's the Chargers division to win this year.
You know what's amazing to me is that they add Juju Smith-Schuster to the Chiefs. And
yep.
I'm like, don't they need defense?
Of course they do, yeah.
I mean, because everybody in the NFL ends up playing over 60% of the time with 5 defensive backs on the field defensively because of what the offenses are doing, man, I'd be trying to find as many defensive backs as I could possibly find. I mean, certainly edge rushers help your pass defense down the field. There's no question about that. But you got to find guys down the field that can actually play defense and cover some of the greatest, athletes in all of professional sports, and that's the wide receivers in the NFL.
Yeah, I mean, I think that Juju deal was very, very team-friendly. I mean, it's not like he got paid a lot of money, so they just brought in another weapon.
Man, that's weird, man. That was a weird one. I thought he would stay in Pittsburgh, but I guess he fell out of favor there. Again, you never know, what's going on with inside the building.
Well, they're tired of his TikTok crap, probably. I don't know. Did he lose 400,000 followers, I saw, or something?
His mother said that.
His mom lost 400,000. Yeah, who wants to follow Juju Smith-Schuster's mom now?
Well, I mean, all the Pittsburgh Steelers fans were. So compare Juju Smith-Schuster's mom to Zach Wilson's mom. Who's got more followers?
Probably Zach Wilson's mom on Instagram.
Can you check it out?
I have not seen or thought of her in a long time. Life according to Lisa, right?
Right.
She's got me blocked on one of the accounts, so I got to go to the other one. Let's see. Life according to Lisa. There we go. She's got 99.8 thousand followers. So almost 100,000 followers. Well, I mean, if Juju's mom lost 400,000 followers, she obviously was way ahead of where Zach Wilson's mom is. And her makeup tutorials and how to make buffalo chicken dip and things like that. It's one hell of an Instagram.
Buffalo
chicken dip guy, of course. You kidding me? Who would not be? That stuff's delicious. What about you? You put a big pile of that in front of me right now.
Yeah, I'm not big on the buffalo. What'd you say? The chip dip or what?
Buffalo chicken dip?
Buffalo chicken dip.
Yeah, like buffalo, like it would be like buffalo wings.
Yes, in a dip.
In a dip, yeah. You kidding me?
I'm not a dip guy.
Oh wow.
I mean, I guess
you got to be out of your mind.
Are you a hummus guy?
I like hummus. Yeah. So if we put like a pot of buffalo chicken dip in front of you, with some chips, you're telling me you wouldn't eat that?
Nah, I'm more of a crab dip guy.
Wow, crazy. Anyway,
you like the crab dip?
Not really, no.
Yeah.
We're in Geo.
Thank you for watching. Please like, comment, and subscribe. And don't forget to hit the red bell so you're notified when we have new content.